Hey guys, welcome to the Chasing Hyperspace podcast. This is episode 6. This is really continuing off of episode 5, so I thought I might stitch them together, but I decided not to and just to make separate uploads. So today is October 23rd. I recorded my last video yesterday, so since it's a new day, I'm gonna make a new video. So, So, in my last video, you guys should watch episode 5 before you watch this episode, because I'm just gonna continue the story of trying to run my first 100-mile ultra marathon. I'm gonna spark up some weed for this shit, and yeah, so. Okay, cheers. Okay, so I was talking about how I took 2 tabs of LSD. After I ran about 20 miles, I took 2 tabs of LSD and I then went on to run. I ran about like 10 more miles or so. Well, there's a 10 hour, or there's, during the peak of my trip, when I came up on the LSD, I was able to run like another 10 miles or so, and it was very steady too. I basically was, at a decent trot for about 95% of the time during the last 10 miles. Or during these 10 miles, from mile 20 to 30 or so, I was just, really, I guess in the zone in a way. I was in a really meditative state, almost like I was kind of just meditating on my feet or something like that. Like I wasn't really even thinking too much about running. Like it wasn't extremely laborious or something like that. I just felt like, um, I just kept going and I had the energy. So um, that could have been because I could have gotten myself into ketosis or something like that. Like people usually talk about hitting a wall during like a marathon or something like that if they don't eat, especially that because people, I think what it is people will kind of go from burning sugar or carbohydrates or glucose or whatever. They'll go from burning sugar to like burning fat. So like it can take a person 20 miles, I think they're, 10, 20 miles or something like that to kind of hit that wall sometimes. And that wall is basically the switch over into burning fat. And I think when I was hitting that wall, I was basically quitting at about mile 20. I was just like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this shit. And then I took the 2 tabs of LSD, and as I was coming up, I'm like, okay, I know why I'm doing this now. This is for the psychedelics or something like that, or this is to kind of share. Um, like I'm getting this in this extremely like visual and beautiful trip. This trip that just kind of made it clicked everything in. I feel like it just like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. You know, and it felt like a miracle. I'm not even kidding you guys. It felt like it felt like a God. It felt like God intervened or something like that. It was kind of like a God, like God, kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just like there's a higher power, and when I was basically quitting, I was just like, I need a higher power or something like that. I just kind of it's almost like an admittance to that I need a higher power. I've done it before where I ask for a higher power, and I feel like I try to do that sometimes very frequently, but for some reason this time, when I was like, I need a higher power, um, I think it came in. It felt like the LSD trip was more powerful than usual, and that could have been because I ran 20 miles and I was kind of in that fasted state almost because I ran 20 miles at that point without eating anything. So I was kind of like getting cleaned out or something like that, and by I think sometimes with psychedelics, by like kind of cleaning that the lens or something like that, or it's like cleaning the mirror or the glass window. It's just kind of like allowing more light to come in, and when it reaches, when the body and mind is at such a cleared state, it just allows so much more, and um, it's like it's like kind of almost like focusing in on an image or something like that, or it's like say if you have two images, or you have two images and they're actually the same image but they're kind of blurred over top of each other, and you're kind of bringing them together, or it's kind of more like this, you're bringing them together to kind of like create that single image. Is kind of doing something like that, and or at least like that's kind of what it, I don't know, it kind of felt like things lined up and there's kind of a inpouring or something like that. It definitely felt like it was it didn't feel like a projection of my mind. It felt like it was coming in and then I was having the interpretations. So it wasn't that I was just interpreting this thing that it wasn't like I was just making something up. It wasn't like I was making something up at all. It was more like I was making something out of what I was perceiving. And what I was perceiving was a lot of organized structures of kind of images of symbols, and not just visual, not just visual phenomenon that is the mind being tricked or some bullshit like that. It was more so like there was these images that I was seeing, and not like it wasn't like it wasn't like a foggy image or anything like. Well, it kind of had like a opaque quality to it, like it was semi-transparent, but it was like it wasn't like a dull. It wasn't dull and just vague. It was kind of vague in a way, but it was just like I knew that there was something very like specific. There's something there's something going on, and I was just trying to figure out what the fuck specifically it is going on. That is going on, and I think I was just kind of like tapping into like a higher dimension, or like a different kind of dimension. I said in my last video, it reminds me a lot of like a sub breakthrough DMT trip. But okay, so the experience I was having was as I was running, I was just going at a decent trot, and I wasn't really even thinking about running. It was just kind of like I was running, and there's these different kind of there's just kind of like different visuals coming into view, or like different kind of it's like it was a changing experience, or it was an experience that was just kind of changing right in front of me. It felt like something that was being presented to me almost, or something that was oh, it's kind of like a discovering a world that's already there or something like that, or discovering like almost like a new habitat or biome or something like that. I like the book Heaven and Hell by Aldous Huxley. He has a pretty good way of talking about it, almost as if it's, you know, like how we go into space or explore the bottom of the ocean. I think the bottom of the ocean is a really good example. It's just like there's this it it can be a good example, but it's not always gonna be like that. Like there's a range of experiences that are kind of like peeking into. There's like all kinds of different worlds that are perceivable, but there's sometimes these worlds that have similarities, and it's just kind of like you. I don't know if I'm visiting the same kind of place multiple times or something like that, but say one place could feel it could feel like the bottom of the ocean, where there's just you might encounter landscapes that are that seem to just like be there, that like, and it's kind of like exploring a new landscape or something like that, and there might be some sort of like organisms that are in this I want to say it's almost like another material frequency or something like that. It can feel like um, or at least like um, it feels like a frequency or something like that, like the changing, or like the tuning of a radio or something like that. You dial in a frequency and you hear the fullness of it. And so during this LSD trip though, what I was some of the stuff that I was seeing was I was seeing like this 3D world that it's almost like a ghost image over top of the overlaying, and there were not that it was spooky, but it was more of like a carnival. Um, it's like a carnival. It seemed like I didn't really understand what the fuck I was really looking at. It just kind of had the aesthetic qualities of like the neon lights, the kind of the moving objects, the um, the um, the thing where it seems like there's just the novelty of it, like there's new thing, like there's just kind of like there's different things going on. It's almost like sectioned and different. There's different sections to it, and there'd be times where it's like, you know, I'm looking at the world that, you know, we currently inhabit, what we're currently perceiving, you know, like I could, you know, be focused on looking at like something like this and just kind of making out the object or something. But then it's like there's like this shit going on, and it's like my eyes would lock onto this like this ghost image or something like that, this translucent uh I don't know, the word like ectoplasm comes to mind. I don't know why the fuck I say that, but it's just kind of like this kind of this translucent kind of um, translucent objects. I want to say it would be kind of moving. It would be moving, and I'd kind of like lock onto it, and it would like drift, kind of like if you ever get a floater in your eye. It's kind of like that, except they're like legit fucking like objects, and I'd kind of just like lock onto that world for a bit, for like 10 15 for like 10 seconds, and it would be as I'm running, so it's like I'm moving, and so like it would be kind of hard to like keep my eyes on it, because it was like um, it's almost like like a hologram or some shit. Yeah, 1 second. It's almost like a hologram or some shit where it's like, um, I feel like the sunlight has to be at such a different. The sunlight has to be just right, or like it's kind of like a like it's kind of like a rainbow or something, but like it's almost like a rainbow kind of objects that are just kind of. I'm trying to think of a good way of describing it. So imagine you spray. Okay, so you spray water. You can create like a mist, and say you're able to see kind of like the rainbow image or something at a certain angle, but if you kind of like move a bit, it kind of gets out of view. I don't know how. Like the sun has to be kind of like bouncing off of it, I think, to where I'd be looking in this direction and I'd kind of see this shit, but then I'd look over here to where it's like, I'm looking at trees or something, to where over here it's like there's like almost like these if you've ever been to apartments where there's like these parking garages, but they're not garages, they're kind of like they're just like those things that are like flat, that they're more like roofs without the buildings. It's just like these roofs or something, and they created just kind of like the shady environment, like like it is shade is like kind of the light was different. It was kind of like more contained. It's kind of like a contained sort of, man. It's really fucking challenging to kind of describe this stuff, but it's something that is in the realm of experience. And one thing I was thinking about with this trip specifically is that this trip was it was very pronounced compared to a lot of the trips I've been having recently. And I think the reason why it was very pronounced was it could have been dosing, I guess, along the side of. It could have been about 400 UG. I actually don't really know, but it could have been about 400 UG, like micrograms or. So for one, it was like a high dose, and two, I was running, so that was just kind of like getting my. I think it's kind of like getting my adrenals like kind of like fired up, as getting like um as getting everything flowing through me, I guess. And also, um, I think it has to do with meaning. Um, I think I think psychedelics. Um, I think sometimes psychedelics have a way of kind of meeting you halfway. When it comes to like finding meaning, like if a person is really like soul searching, and a person is really has a mindset of just like um trying to find meaning in their life. Like, see, the thing is like before I took the 2 tabs, I think I really did have some thoughts about I want to change my life or something like that. It was something I've been kind of just thinking about, is like changing my life, and just trying to, I don't know. Alex Gray, he was saying, he had a like a quote or something he wrote, where it was kind of saying, it was something about where it was I think it had to do with his first mystical experience induced by psychedelics, and it was something where Alex Gray he kind of realized, what his living is going to be. Like he's going to, he's going to be an artist, and he said something about how, during the ages of like 19 through 22 or some shit. I don't know. Just, kind of that um, young adulthood where it's like people are just trying to figure out. He said people either kill themselves, they either sell out, or they make a living, and I was just thinking about that, that kind of, I've been thinking about that, and so while I was running and on psychedelics, I was thinking of people that are ultra runners, like Cameron Haynes. He doesn't do psychedelics as far as I know. I was thinking of David Goggins. I was thinking of Courtney Dauwalter, and I feel like those people have really found. I feel like they find meaning in what they do to the extent that I don't know how true this is, but I think when a person really has a purpose, they're really they take the ride, I guess. They just kind of do it. They just do it. I think at a certain point, when people, they know their purpose, they know what they want, I guess. They It's like they I think people kind of, in a way, I think they figure out what's worth it or something like that. It's almost like an exchange that I view it as. Like when I was running and I was getting about to mile 30 or something like that, I man, it was really beautiful. But like the trees and everything, but I was feeling my foot, my I was kind of like sensing my toe and on my right foot, and I'm like I might be bleeding through my toe, and I just kind of had this idea of like my toe bleeding through, kind of like through my sock, and just kind of like I felt like I was just kind of like leaking blood or something like that, like a feeling of just kind of like I'm leaking blood, and I'm like, okay, do I just say fuck it and continue running, or do I stop and check up on my foot? And so I I ran a little bit longer. I think I ran another mile, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go check up on my feet. I'm gonna change my sock out. That's what I'm gonna do, because I felt like my sock was wet. So I'm like, okay, I'll just get a dry sock on. So um, that's what I did. I went inside. I took my shoes off, took my socks off, looked at my toe, and it wasn't bleeding. It was just my sock was wet. So I was still tripping. So I was like looking at I was just kind of like looking at my feet, and I was looking at the callousing and kind of like the So I think having like fucked up feet, and doing something like ultra marathon or something, a marathon, or just kind of pushing through it, it's kind of like the pain, the injuries, I guess, are kind of like, it's like character in a way. It's almost like stories. Um, um, and yeah, I was just kind of looking at the callousing on my feet and stuff like that, and it just looked really interesting to me. I don't know why. Um, and So I sat there for a second, and then I went into my room. Um, I went into my room and I just kind of like I sat down to like change my socks or something, and that was like the first time. That was like the second time I sat down, and I was still tripping pretty hard. So what happened was I sat down for a second and I just like closed my eyes, and there's just something going on um in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna. There's something that I don't know what it was. Like I had to meditate or some shit, but I'm like, okay. I got up and I just got on my bed and laid back and like closed my eyes to kind of I want to say refocus, and when I did that, I think my initial it was kind of like a NASCAR kind of thing where you know the car stops and there's like this crew, and the crew comes in and they're just kind of like they change the tires or something. They like hook the driver up, and then they're off to go. But what happened with me is, I laid down, closed my eyes, and I felt like there's like these beings or something that were I don't really recall exactly what they were doing, but it felt like I was having this interaction with these beings or something like this, and I couldn't really distinguish them, but it was just kind of like these things that were going into my mind of like um, I think what it kind of felt like. Okay, so at that point I was at mile 30 or whatever, and it took me 10 hours to get 30 miles. There's people who can run a marathon in fucking 2 hours. So I'm by far like not the fastest runner. So what the fuck ever, it's just me, and I wasn't upset at myself about that or anything like that. It's just how it was. So I just knew that in order to do the last 70 miles, um, I had to basically gun it, and it's just like I had to pick up my pace. I would I'd have to just run at a much faster rate. So before you know, so when I went inside, I kind of had that in mind. I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna basically come up with a game plan. I'm gonna take a second, come up with a game plan, and I'm just going to kind of think of how I'm going to do this. The 70 miles in 14 hours or something like that. And so I could just kind of visualize, like before I went inside, I could almost see. So, like, the night before this run or something, I thought it would be, I don't know why, I thought it would be a good idea to get some Tim Hortons donuts. And to be totally honest with you guys, I think I ate like nine of them or something like that. Um, they tasted pretty good. I knew that I would just burn them off with this run, so I was just kind of like, fuck it, you know, I'm just gonna. This is kind of like what I had in mind for this run was like I felt like that it was going to like clean me out, um, and just kind of reset me. I felt like it was gonna be a huge reset. Like it's just gonna clean me out, uh, because I did the run fasted. But the thing is like I could feel like my insides during the run, and I felt like I could kind of feel. I want to say like my digestive tract, but I could also kind of feel like the process of my organs and stuff like that. And I felt like my organs were kind of like some of them were like under strain or something like that. I kind of felt like people have like kidney stones and shit like that. It didn't. I've never had a kidney stone, but it felt like I'm probably gonna get like a kidney stone or something like that. That was just kind of one part of like the because it was gonna be such an intense fucking like detox or something, that 100 miler, that it was just gonna squeeze all the it's gonna squeeze everything out of me, um, and I felt like I felt like I had just so much in me that had to be detoxed, that I felt like it was gonna put me in the hospital to like, if any of you guys have read or heard David Goggins' story where he runs his first 100-mile ultra marathon. He says it's the hardest thing he ever did, but he when he did it, he was so fucked up that he was pissing like Coca-Cola and shit up his back, and just he was really fucked up. And he had to have someone take him to the hospital or something at some point, and I could just see that with me, um, that I would have to go to a hospital to finish this race, and I don't know. I just felt like that was just gonna be, that was just gonna happen, and I didn't really. Not that I didn't have anyone, but I didn't have any. I didn't have anyone's. I didn't have like a crew with me. Um, it was just kind of like a thing where it's like there's one person I knew of that would probably. I didn't even have a phone at the time. Okay, I just had a watch. I just got a Motorola phone though. Yeah, I just had this Fitbit that I was tracking my distance on, and so I couldn't really contact anyone if I was really fucked up, and I I felt like someone would help me. I feel like it could have worked out. But it's just like I when I laid down and thought for a second, I was having like all these. I was kind of having like this interaction with like these beings or something. I want to say like aliens or some shit. Like it just kind of felt like these external kind of entities that were. It was almost like they were they were trying to like encourage me to do this. It was like they really wanted me to do this thing. Um, and so yeah, it was like they really wanted me to do this thing, and I don't know how I can describe it. It's like if someone were to call you up and Okay, imagine this. Okay, someone calls you up and they're just like, uh, someone calls you up and they're telling you that they really want to see you to run a 100-mile ultra marathon. Like someone is telling you that they want you to do this, and you know, and they're like super excited to see you do this thing, and you're just like, you're like, whoa, whoa, like whoa, whoa, like, uh, it's just kind of like a moment of just like, whoa, hold up, dude, like hold up, um, or someone's like recommending you something like really intense, to do, like a roller coaster, to it's like having fans or something that want you to just like keep doing what you're doing in a way, or not, or to, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like this thing where it felt like I really want to get this right with trying to explain how this felt to me. Um, there were like it's like different beings. Not that I could see them, but I could just kind of like sense them, and us having like these visuals along with it, where it was just kind of like it's almost like a job offer or something like that. It's like there's this job that you can do, it's a really good job. It's this is like really awesome. It's something that, I think it's gonna be really worth it for you. You know, I it's like a thing where it's like, I think this will make you happy. I think this will, really, really, or it was more like, it'll make me happy if you do this thing. Um, I don't know what it was exactly, but it's just this really intense, like, um, kind of like thing where they're almost like a persuasion or something, or like a it's like an offer or something like that. Yeah, it was like an offer, and there's like an offer that was presented to me. That's kind of what it felt like, and and I had to kind of like stop and think about the offer, um, which was uh, finishing 70 miles in about 14 hours. Like, I don't know, just it was this offer presented to me, but the price of the offer was, I would probably end up in the hospital. There would be kind of like, I would basically, be paying my blood with it. So I'd be paying my blood for the offer, and it's this dynamic where it's like, it just totally like opened me up in a way to this idea of, I feel like God or something just kind of offers us anything we could possibly want, but the price, like, there's a price to it, and the price is our suffering. Okay, um, I'm gonna pause the video there. I gotta go use the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. Um, but yeah, basically what I was figuring out, I feel like, was this, there's really this, I really feel like there's this dynamic of, it's almost like we can have anything we want, but, at the, there's a price for it, and that price is our suffering. I feel like we're already suffering, and that's just kind of, we're already paying with our blood with everything we do, I feel like. And it's just kind of like, what is the most worth it thing? What is most worth our suffering? And honestly, I feel kind of like confused right now. I feel like I'm in a gray area right now. I just feel like I really don't know what I'm doing sometimes, and I really don't know, you know, sometimes I think I want something, and it's like, it ends up, um, I end up not wanting to really stick with it forever, kind of thing. Like, do I really want to run ultra marathons forever, or like, do I want to be a runner forever? Do I want to make music forever? Like, I don't know how to explain it. That's why I'm making this video. Is so when I laid down. So okay, when I was actually first coming up on the acid, when I was like starting to really feel the LSD, I was having this extremely full and like extremely meaningful experience that just felt like I was given like a new life or something like that. And it was for psychedelics. I don't know. It was just kind of like, it was like this thing where it's like, I kind of got this message in my head, and it's funny because I had almost the opposite message, but the message this time was like, or the thought was just like, I should quit my job. Like, it would be the most meaningful thing for me to do is to quit my job and to just be fully be fully invested in myself. I felt like, it's like I have to quit my job because if I'm gonna be doing podcasts and stuff, and if I'm gonna be basically it was like, my if I really wanted to have extremely like free speech and to be 100% me, or to just, to have freedom of speech, like, I felt like I have to quit my job because there's kind of this thing there where it's like, subconsciously, it's like in trying to like keep my job, I'm going to be almost like sacrificing myself in a way. Like what I can say, I feel like it would just kind of make me it would just I felt like it quitting my job would kind of wither or degrade or like I feel like it would kind of hold me back in being truly myself and living how I want to and expressing how I want to. So I guess right now I hope that I just want to be me, and if it costs me my job, then so be it. But honestly, the experience was just more like you need to quit your job, because this is getting in the way of who you could be, and like this is getting in the way of having a living, and ironically, because it feels like my job that I have right now is um, it's not what I want to do forever. And yesterday when I was working, it was like, I thought about it, and it's like, I don't think this is really what I want to do. Um, I just, I'm starting to get that feeling like I'm getting backed into a corner, and I have to find a way out. Like the feeling is like the feeling, it's it's kind of funny because when I first got this job, it's like a job where I push shopping carts. When I first got this job, I I felt like it was such a gift that I want to run 100-mile ultra marathon, and then I get this job, and getting when I got this job, it was like um, everything felt like it was lining up. Okay, I have to pause the video a sec. Alright, I had to pause the video again, but I'm back. So where was I left off? Well, okay, so I was laying down and I was basically given all these offers from what I would call like higher powers. It seemed like aliens or higher beings or something, and it just kind of I was like turning down all these offers. Honestly, I feel like I discovered this dynamic where it's like that I can pay for what I want with my suffering. It's almost like if you just do what you really love, um, or you find something that is just really, really worth your time, like you're just so engaged in something, or you're just, finding happiness, you're just kind of like that zone, getting in the zone. Um, it's like all suffering and pain and just like everything just kind of clears away, and it's just kind of this direct connection to, it's almost like this import of value or something like that. It's kind of almost like this greediness towards like value, or like working so hard as if it's nobody's, like someone who's working really hard and kind of like as if it's nobody's business yet, kind of like discovering something and then, you know, capitalizing on it like a motherfucker, like finding gold and just, you know, uh, just, or I don't know, just that excitement for life of, yeah, I want to say finding gold, finding value, earning something, make it's kind of hard to put into words, but I really do feel like there's something to do with our suffering, and there's like an exchange for worth or something like that. Like when someone like David Goggins, when he when he ran his first ultra, I feel like I got a lot of insight into like how that's possible. Um, I just kind of felt like it wasn't right for me at that point in time. Um, I, it's kind of like a person could be like a very famous musician or artist or something. Someone could really, you know, just kind of have it all, you know, that kind of thing. And it doesn't make them happy. And, you know, I felt like I was being given like all these offers. Um, it's like, I can't really explain it, but there's just like a lot of futuristic shit too that I was being offered, like kind of like goals that I was being presented, like almost like so okay, I was kind of faced with a whole array of different things that were being presented to me as like these extreme kind of things like flying jet airplanes, like I don't know, like jet cars or some shit like that, drifting, uh, just kind of like getting strapped into a ride, you know. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. Like some people will skate, that's their form of suffering, you know, and it's like they've people who skate and become really good at it, you know, it's like there's all this kind of like suffering involved, physical, and but somehow it's still worth it to them. And I think that's because with the right meaning or the right value, it's like it overrides that physical suffering. So it's like I was trying to figure out. Um, I was trying to figure out. One sec. Sorry, I just had a phone. Someone called me. I should probably just like turn my fucking phone off while I'm making these videos. So um yeah, so it's like there's all these different offers and such that, you know, people can it's like there's almost like this adrenaline or like fear factor to making a living. um it's kind of like an intensity to for like such a commitment, like a life passion or something like that. There's kind of like this intensity to it. It's like a fear or something. um and like someone could be a, I think I already said this, but like, you know, they someone I could be like, you know, a musician or something, and then it's like that fear of getting on stage, and it's like, man, and just what if I was faced with a thing where it's like, man, I actually don't really want to do this, but there's like this huge obligation and momentum and just kind of investment and just, so it's like I'm trying to figure out what I want my snowball to be, I guess. Right now I just feel like there's kind of all these different things that I want to have. I'm kind of like spread out in a way. I want to do running. Um, I want to make these videos. I want to get into music more. um, writing, um, just different things. It's hard for me to just commit to like one thing. Like, um, I guess one thing is like it's almost like I think I really want something, and then it turns out that I really don't. It's kind of weird, but right now it's almost like I don't really know what I want. I thought I really knew what I wanted when I came to the ultra marathon, and it's like I still want it, but I just I feel like I can work my way up to it, and I can prepare better next time, kind of thing. Because I felt like if I was on the carnivore diet or something like that, instead of a fucking donut diet, I feel like I would be able to do it without it fucking me up and putting me in the hospital, most likely. Um, I'd just be, it would be easier, I think, or that it would, there wouldn't be as much of a risk involved with it. So, um, yeah, I think that's really what it is finding the right risk to reward, perhaps, Um, and it's kind of scary to have like a blind, almost, or kind of like a faith in something. It's really hard to be like, okay, I really don't have another source of income, but I'm going to quit my job, like that kind of thing. It's probably the better thing to do would be to become like financially independent and then quit my job, I suppose. I think I should start a Patreon, even though I get like uh, I should probably start a Patreon, even though I don't really I don't know, like I guess I just want to find a way to be supported in a way. Um, I think there can be almost like this thing where it's like people are just like supported by a lot of people, but they're not supported by themselves. Um, I don't really know what I mean by that exactly, but it's just like um, it's kind of like this thing where it's like trying to make everyone happy and not being happy yourself. So it's like, and then there's the opposite to that where it's like making myself happy at the expense of everyone else. So it's weird. Okay. Perhaps it's just another level of sacrifice. Could be. Um, but I kind of hope that it's something that's both like me finding happiness and having other people have their happiness too in a way. Um, well, it's raining like a motherfucker outside right now, so I'm gonna open this window up. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know if you guys can see that all too well, so I'm just gonna okay, I'm gonna try to stop fucking around. So yeah, like right now I'm just trying to figure out like what I really want. You know, when I was leading up to running my attempt to run 100 miles. So, okay, so what happened when I started laying down is that's actually when I stopped the run. I did get out and walk some more, but like and I even thought about doing 60 miles or something like that, like just running more, but not gunning it for the fucking 100. But I just kind of stopped at like, I think I logged like 32, 34 miles that day. And yeah, so like when I laid down, I was just kind of, yeah, it's like there's this, the experience I had was like all these different like ways I can suffer to make a living. You know, like these very fucking intense things. These kind of like intimidating kind of things. And I was just kind of like, I'm so afraid. Like it kind of got to the point where it's like I don't want to do this stuff, or like I don't really know what it was exactly, but I think it was just kind of like, you know, I wanted my own happiness or something, or you know, I felt like I was turning down all these offers, and these entities or something were kind of like what it seemed like. It was like these entities were all just kind of like they're trying to make the perfect like gift for me or something, and they're like trying to give it to me, and I'm just like, I'm getting it, but I'm just like, you know, I'm like, it doesn't, you know, I'm sorry, but that doesn't, that's not it. Or you know, that is just kind of what it was like. It's just like all these things were, they're just putting so much effort into constructing like this gift for me or something to make me happy or something like that, and they just weren't making me happy. So they were kind of just like upset or something. They're just like whatever. Uh, it was kind of just like a fuck you thing that I felt like they're just kind of like, well, okay, fuck you then. And I was just like, I was kind of just like, I need help or something. Like um, I was just like calling on higher powers or something, like even higher powers, and it felt like that. It felt like it was almost like um, it kind of felt like there's all these. I saw this thing where it's like all these ranks or something. It was like a hierarchy of ranks, and they kind of had like their symbols associated with it, or like their kind of a design or something. All, and it just kind of felt like this. Um, like there's all these layers to this hierarchy, and I was just kind of like going to the like trying to like get to like the fucking elite level of the hierarchy of like it's almost like a it was almost like a I felt like I was kind of getting worked on or something, and I was calling for you know, if there's like um something that could help me, I guess. And it was just like it called on like um, it was what is it called when it's like a almost like a meeting, or like a is it like a congregation, or like a committee, or like a it's like the sector or branch or something that I was brought to, or that kind of, not that I was brought to, but it just kind of like my mind kind of like a line, like it kind it like it was like constructed, and it just kind of like the way that it was constructed was just like it moved almost like an elevator or something or it just kind of sorted through to this like super like high level thing, or this level, this tier of this committee or something, and it's like a meeting or something, and it was just like they're trying to help me um figure out what my living is going to be, or like what's worth it to me. Like they're trying to figure out something what would kind of get me to what's worth it to me. They're trying to figure out what's worth it to me, and it's like it felt like all these like high power things, they're all kind of like failing to make me happy, or to like find what would make me happy, I guess. And it kind of got to a point where it was like um it started getting like dark, like the trip started getting dark, and actually I was getting like very like gruesome kind of images or something, like it was getting almost like I was starting to be punished or something, it was like yeah, it's kind of like I was getting punished, or like it's like, okay, you're, as if I'm like being ungrateful or something, or it's almost like a thing where it's like we can't make this guy happy kind of thing, you know. He um and so they're all kind of like let down, and then yeah, it started getting dark and gruesome, and like I was just seeing like really gross images of just like gore and stuff like that, and just like um I don't know, it's just it's starting to get bad. So I felt like responsible for it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm like, I said something where it's like I'm like, okay, can I just not, can I just not be bad? Like, can I at least do that? Like I don't want to be bad. Like I just, you know. Um, so yeah, um, it's just kind of like it kind of brought me up to a point where it's like I'm like, um, you know, it's like maybe I have to find my own happiness, and it's like I was just like, can I just be me? Like, can I just um, do what I enjoy as I find it, you know, instead of um, like, can I just do what makes me happy, I guess, or, you know, like, because it's like I like to make videos, I like to run, I like to make music, I like to, it's like I kind of like to do a lot of different things, and my mood kind of changes or something with what I want to do, and I wish that I could just kind of get my life to be productive in general, and it's like I was basically asking, like, can I just make a living being me? Like, is that possible? Like, do I really? And like, I kind of discovered something like when I was getting gruesome. It was kind of like this thing where it was like, it's like what I. It was kind of this thing where it's like what I wanted, or it was a product of what I wanted, and it was like really fucking horrible. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know, like I just had to be like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And when I said that, that gruesome fucking horrible shit just kind of faded out, or like it dissipated, it went away. And because I think what that was, it kind of taught me about a pathology of just like this extreme kind of doesn't even have to be extreme, just kind of this thing where it's like yes, this is really what I want. Like I know that I want this, you know, this is um like I know what I'm doing, you know, kind of thing. When real, it's like pride. That's kind of what it was showing me. It was like this kind of the stubbornness of a person's path, or you know, kind of almost like a commitment to yeah. Yeah, it just felt like a thing where it was like I could be, you know, there could be something I want, but it would be kind of just like grinding away at others in a way, and it's just like it's kind of just like holy fuck, like I don't like I have to take my foot off the fucking pedal, okay, and like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, okay, and so after that I kind of got to this really neutral place, and from there I was just kind of imagining like what I want, uh, and like it was weird because it was just like I spent a long ass time thinking about what I want. Like it was a long time. Like I fell asleep and I woke up thinking. Like I fell asleep trying to think about what I want, and then I woke up still thinking about what I want, and it was just like I just kept asking myself, you know, like is there anything else, you know, that I want, and it just kind of kept going to the point where I was just getting almost like fatigued and tired because it felt like I was spending all this time thinking about what I want, and I wasn't really thinking about. I was thinking about what I wanted, and I wasn't really thinking about what it would actually take. I suppose I was just kind of hoping that if I really wanted something, that it didn't matter what it took, kind of thing. Um, like what it took would take from me, and kind of like the cost of the suffering. Like it's just kind of like if I can just think of something really amazing. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of like going back and forth, but like when I was at that point of it felt like I was at that really high power thing trying to that was trying to help me figure out what I wanted. It was basically saying I could be really really fucking good at something, you know, that kind of like I could achieve anything kind of thing. Uh, and it was saying it was showing me like I could be like a really fucking good writer, because that would be kind of a path that is like not that intimidating, I suppose, or like it wouldn't be like a fucking it wouldn't be physically like fucking uh I don't know, like it just seemed kind of like a more pussy-ish like path or something, but it's still like it still was like an immense kind of discipline thing. So and it was even showing me that I could be like a it was showing me that I could like cure obesity in the world, and it was showing me I could even be like um, I could like connect this world with I guess the aliens, or like the intergalactic sort of like the kind of like if we took the internet of our world, if I could get us connected to the internet of the internet database of the universe or something like that, like this insanely fucking massive like um in web of intelligence and life, like and like just kind of like all, I don't know, you know, just like kind of being the one to almost like end history in a way, or to just, you know, get um find a way to get, it's kind of like the singularity idea, something kind of akin to that, but it's like it wouldn't end history, it would just kind of like, it would definitely take the world, it would put the world in a different fucking dimension. Okay, like there's no movie that has captured the advancedness of aliens and such, and um, like if you see the game Halo or some shit, it's like one alien species or two maybe, I don't know. Or you see the movie Avatar, it's just like one world. You see the movie fucking Star Wars, that's kind of getting there. It's kind of getting that in that direction, but it's like still extremely underrated, or it's still underestimated, I guess. There's no movie that has really like captured it, I guess. But it's just kind of saying like uh, I could, that could be my living, I suppose. You know, like that the thing that is rewarding almost is like that would be like the reward in a way. It's like the wealth of the kind of just like a wealth that is beyond like this world. And like even then, I feel like I still turned that down. And you know, before in my life, I had a goal. It was during a psychedelic trip where I did like a candy flip. Um, that whole trip was really fucking intense, but during that trip, it was kind of the same thing where it's like you can be anything you want. where you can do anything you want in this life, and there's one thing I wanted, which was to end tyranny. Like that means like slavery, death camps, like basically uh, curing uh, and preventing things like Auschwitz or like the Soviet Union or Mao's China, the hundreds of millions of death, or like the kind of the pride of government and the amount of death caused by government. Um, like if you guys look into the word democide, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is basically the conglomerate um, death toll of tyranny, and that is just like the torture and the death, like of like the horrors of the past kind of thing. You know, just kind of like being able to cure that, um, to like find a new path in this world that isn't to do with torturing people and killing people and shit like that. Um, and it was something I felt extremely passionate about. Like it was just kind of like some people, you know, like I know someone in person who's like who had a similar experience, and they're like they didn't want to become they don't want to become the president, but it's just like they got those coincidences that occurred to them that kind of was just like, okay, this is like he's basically saying, you know, he's gonna become the president of the United States eventually, and it's just kind of like this thing where it's like we can have like a very extremely like grandiose sort of ambitious like goal or like a mission or just like like there's basically no limits to what we can achieve or what we want to accomplish in this life, or I don't know how to explain it. We just are provided basically an opportunity or an offer that is like God can offer us godly offers or something like that. I don't know, like it's this thing of there's kind of like no limit to what we can be offered in this life, but there is, it's really like we can have like anything we truly want, or that we really want. But the thing is there is a cost for it, I believe, and a lot of us are just paying a cost, and it's not for what we want. Um, so it's kind of like the idea of like sacrifice. It's like um, you can have anything you want, um, but you have to sacrifice for it. And what you have to sacrifice is almost like yourself in a way, or perhaps like your body in a way, like sacrificing time. Um, to really like, I think in order to like change a person's life, it really has to be kind of like a thing where it's like there is it in order to change a person's life or even my life, like in order to change my life, I feel like I have to it's like a bargain in a way, I feel like. And it's like I am still just trying to figure out the best bargain, I guess, for like what I'm willing to sacrifice for, or like what I'm willing to pay for, I guess. And I feel like it's kind of like what is worth paying my blood for. Um, and I really fucking mean that, like in a literal sense. It's kind of like, you know, people donate blood and get money for it, but it's like there is a thing where it's like it's suffering for something. Um, and it's like, it kind of feels like the more grandiose a thing that I want, the more suffering in return that is necessary for it. And it's just like, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm able to ascend that the level of kind of like what is the limits to risk and reward as such. Like what is the most rewarding thing that I could do with my life? I think that's more important than um, I think that's just kind of like the question that I think a lot of us are facing is like, what do I really want to do with my life? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to what's worth it to me? What is what do I want? What do I need? Um what are my goals? Like who would I like to be? Um what kind of relationships would I like to have? You know, um like if love exists, how can I find love? How can I feel love? How can I be love? How can I, you know, how can I be loved more often? How can I you know, experience love more often? How can I fulfill my potential? And in a way, I think that the answer to how can I fulfill my potential is like is the word suffering came into my mind. Like if I want to fulfill my potential, like I have to suffer for it, and I don't really know what that means exactly. I think it means like sacrifice. It's like, yeah, it's like I kind of have to give up my comfort, or like my almost like my pleasures, or like my habits. Um, and you know, it can be a very tedious process, because it's like, you know, I you know, it's kind of like I want to like get in shape, but it's like I don't really know what I mean by that. To like, what do I really want with that? Um, I think like what I want is to kind of just be like a positive, like I want to be positive to other people. Um, I don't know if I can be positive to everyone, but it's just like I want to kind of it's kind of this thing where it's like I almost wish like God could like work through me in a way to kind of like perhaps like show people what's possible, or to because when I was running, especially like when I did the psychedelics, like I started feeling so happy, and I felt like I was just so happy, and I was just like I felt like a giant billboard or something of just like happiness, and it's like you see a billboard of like happiness or something, someone out there just running at like fucking 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and um, they're pushing on through. They're you see someone just living life. You see them paying the price, but they're happy with it. Just kind of like a someone grinding, enjoying the grind though. Um, seeing someone enjoy their life. I think that can be like it can be a very positive thing for people. Like I see someone like Courtney DeWalter, and she just seems like a happy person. She seems like a very normal but happy person. Like just really positive. It's like she will run like almost like 300 miles or some shit, and then there's a picture of her fucking smiling right after, or like they just they love it. I feel like, or like you see someone like Cameron Haynes. He gets a 100 mile or 200 miler done, and then you see him cross the finish line of that. He's just like smiling, and it's just like um, I was kind of having this idea that Jesus is the most lovable person there is, or the easiest to love person there is, or symbol that there is. Because I don't really know much about Jesus, but knowing that he suffered like a motherfucker, and I guess he he embraced it in a way. He chose it voluntarily. He kind of stepped up to the plate. Um, he like did it, and I don't have any problems with him. I don't think like I don't really. It's like I don't hate Jesus. Like I just feel like um. Well, if I were to hate Jesus, I think it would be because it just shows me that uh, I'm not there yet, or that that there is this dynamic that is real. I feel like he there's this dynamic that is real to me. It's very real to me, and it's kind of like too real to me sometimes. But it's kind of this idea of like finding a meaning in suffering, or like being able to transcend suffering, being able to suffer, period. Just kind of like there's almost like this thing too, where it's like I think of like not what is it, prisoners of war, like thinking of like a prisoner of war situation, or even like a slave situation, and kind of like a thing where it's like you can't hurt me, you know saying the slave saying that to the master, like you can't hurt me, like just enjoying like and being happy regardless of just like their situation, just like loving it, and the master is just like he's like why aren't you miserable, why aren't you um, he's like it's like I want you to suffer kind of thing, or like why aren't you suffering, like you have to be suffering kind of thing, or like you have to you have to be miserable. Like, why are you miserable? And it's just being able to like mindfuck people, I guess, with you know, doing something that would be seemingly extremely miserable, but like embracing it and actually being extremely happy with it, and like that sense of like overcoming or something, endurance, and like finding the light at the end of the tunnel, I suppose. So I've been trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think I've been having some success, but I also feel like right now, it's like I don't even know where the fucking light would be at. Like, um, it's like I'm trying to make my own kindling, I suppose, or I'm just trying to I don't know. I feel like frustrated or something. Like once I laid down during that ultra, like yeah, I quit, I suppose, but I feel like it was positive. Like I walked away realizing that, just kind of realizing that, you know, I can choose what I want. And so like it feels like I have to choose what I want, but there's like conditions to that. So it's like I'm like trying to figure out the it's almost like, why can't I just be happy? I don't know. Like I find happiness sometimes, but um, right now I just feel totally like I feel like I'm in limbo right now. I don't know. Um, you know, I could do a lot of different things. I could like become a gamer or some shit. And, like that would be my living. But it's like, do I really even want to fucking play video games? I don't think I do. Like, you know, maybe for like a little bit, but as a life, as a living, as I just kind of feel like there's all these uh, ways to make a living, and I feel like I'm just like being a huge judge, or I'm being extremely picky about what living I'm gonna choose, and I'm trying to just I'm seeing if I can just be me, but I don't know, man. I'm just I feel like I'm in a better place than what I've been in the past, but like I think in terms of like direction right now, I just kind of feel like a mixed bag. Like there's all these different directions that I could go in, and I just don't know which direction I want to go in. And it's just kind of like I don't know what I want to actually do, what I want to just fucking do. Um, yeah, I guess I don't know what I want to fucking do. I am recording this video, but um, it's weird. Like that running that, I realize that, you know, I can do anything, but it's like I don't know what I want to do, so it's weird. It's like I feel like there's I can literally do anything I fucking put my mind to, but it's like I don't even know what the fuck I want to do. Like I don't know what would make me actually happy, what would be like genuinely fulfilling to me, like on a like consistently as like a full-time thing, as like a, you know, my life. Just trying to find the most like living life to the fullest, I suppose. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking is like I kind of just want to live life to the fullest in a way, and I don't really know what I mean by that. Um, so when I was running and I was feeling my foot, thinking might be bloody, it wasn't, but thinking about it and just kind of like this kind of gun it situation of running 70 miles in 14 hours, that kind of thing, I realized that it was like I felt like that was like the mechanism, that kind of thing was like a mechanism to to evolve. Like I really felt like it was like this thing where it's like, so I feel like there's kind of like I feel like blood in a way is like okay, what it is, I think Goggins described this very well, but it's kind of like you have all these like it's like having these what, these scabs or something, these yeah, it's like these scabs, these walls or something, and there's like this blood flow, it's like preventing blood flow. And I feel like we all have like these traumas that are like these scabs or something. And thinking of that 100 miler, I felt that that kind of push it kind of thing would be like it would break the scabs open and allow blood flow. But I mean that in a metaphorical way, I think, where it's just kind of like it just everything just flows, you know. And that's kind of like the potential being reached or something. It's like allowing all that blood flow to occur. And the physicality or the physical aspect of that, where it's like a very bodily thing of just like the idea of like gunning it for an ultra marathon like that is just like I feel like that's the objective right there in a way, is that kind of flow state, I suppose, or getting into that extreme level of just like flow, um or just it's like a healing kind of thing though. It's like um you open everything up, you like the blood just flows more to everything, you increase the blood flow to everything. um yeah, it's like that's kind of what it's almost like it's like this the flowing of it's like flowing life or something outwards in a way, or it's like this, it's fucking weird, man. But there, I think there, it can happen in a lot of different ways. I think, you know, I think that it, for some reason, it seems like it has to be like an adrenaline state, like whether it's flying jet airplanes, skating, sprinting, marathons, dancing. Um, um, Working out. I don't know. There's just this thing that it's like, I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out the best way to get to that. Um, it could be running ultra marathons, but like right now, I think it might be a year or so, another year to running my next, to attempting. I think I might attempt another ultra soon, but honestly, what I want to do is I want to do the carnivore diet for it. Um, like I just feel like I'm trying to drink milk that's
probably not the best thing, but it's technically an animal product, I suppose. It has like carbs in it and some sugar in it, from the theory. But that's I feel like I just want to be cleared out. Like, I just want to clear out everything. I want to change my life, and I think the way I'm gonna change my life is by clearing out, those old scabs, or just kind of like, in a way, it's like, in order to change my life, I feel like I have to kind of like break through this fucking this all these limitations, which is kind of like my lifestyle. Like, there almost has to be like an event or something to, I don't know, but I want to make music. I think I'm gonna make some singles and just fucking, dude, honestly, just I want to break free of my current life, in a way, to another kind of life. Um, like, right now, I just want to be financially independent from my job. Um, I'd I want to kind of, have my own schedule. I want to be able to speak freely. I want to be able to kind of test myself in ways that I feel like I have obligations and shit. And it's like, I feel like I don't test myself as much as I want to because of obligations. Like something like a week-long fast or something, 2 week-long fast, or running an ultra marathon or working out like a motherfucker. It feels like I I want to push my. I feel like I want to really push myself, but it feels like I haven't been, because it's like this fear of my fucking job or something. I'm kind of getting fucking fed up with this shit, dude. And it's like, I don't want to be a sucky worker, so it's weird. It's fucking weird, dude. I'm really getting kind of frustrated, though. I'm gonna pause this video again. I got pissed. Okay, see, the idea, man, I gotta turn my light on. Okay, so the idea of like quitting a job is really a big example of this, because a job provides a little like safety net or some shit for like income. You see, like, for me, it's like I get used to I get accustomed to smoking weed, eating food. See, I think it's almost like what a lot of people, what they only care about is food, is their fucking their medicine, or their fucking their drugs or some shit. And their mortgage, their car payments, their rent, their utilities, just their bills, their phone, their technology. See, I'm like, should I work full time and invest more money in equipment for making music or making videos? Like, work more and invest more in technology, or should I just fucking like quit, be broke as fuck, and just really fucking grind to make another fucking living? I kind of like the first idea better, I think. of I just feel like I just want to be able to manage my money better. See, I'm thinking about I'm pretty fucking stupid. I think about buying weed. I think about um, like budgeting for weed and food. See, the thing is like this is what I'm talking about. It's like what am I willing to pay for? You know, like if I got really into music and I had to do live shows, in a way that's also like a commitment in a way, or that's like a an obligation or something. It can be an obligation. Probably the best thing I could do. See, I think of some crazy plans. I don't go through with all of them, but sometimes I do. I think I had to figure out. Okay, so I've thought of like different fasting routines, and I've actually stuck to them sometimes, not all the way through, but I was charged. There's kind of like this goal or something. It's like it's like it's like a great idea that I get sometimes, and it's like something that I'm actually willing to do. So I have to figure out like what I'm willing to do for what. So yeah. So that's just what I'm gonna be fucking thinking about until the next video, I think. Because this video is long as fucking shit. I'm just gonna keep fucking going though. Okay, so. See, it's hard to know, like, for what though? Like, is it people? I don't really know. Because when I was trying to run that ultra marathon, right when I was about to give up, people came along, and I'm like, okay, I'll run with you guys. Fuck it, like fuck six. This is the sign. This is why I'm doing this. It's for people. That's why, dude. Fuck people. They just kind of left me behind, and I got lost. So fuck people. Um, that's not why I'm doing it. I mean, there's kind of like a romantic idea. There's some romantic ideas too, where it's like, what's worth my suffering is like if I suffer for like a significant other or something like that, or if I suffer for family, or if I give my suffering to it's kind of like it's almost like a question like, can I suffer for you in a way? It's fucking weird, dude, but and then there's kind of like a reciprocity idea there, where it's like people suffer for each other, like for almost like giving the other person what they want, even if it's like there's a cost to it in a way. Um, I don't know. So I feel like I know I have like so much fucking potential sometimes. Like sometimes I feel like I really can outwork a crowd of people. Like or like if I'm on a team of people, I can sometimes I can actually outwork everybody. There's gonna be those times that I fucking can't figure this shit out, but there's definitely I have my moments where it's like I feel like I'm just like loving it, you know, and okay, so I went to a rave. I talked about this a little bit before, but a buddy of mine wanted me to go to this rave with him, and dude, I just wanted to stay home and do nothing basically, but I could tell that he really wanted me to go, and and you know, I think of the idea of reciprocity. He really wanted me to go, and I could tell that you know he's all dressed up for it. He's all fucking. Um, he didn't want to go alone. He came to my house. He drove to my house. You know, and it's like I'm just like I don't know, but you know I could tell he really wanted it. So I'm like fine, okay, I'm gonna It's the idea of reciprocity. You know, it's like how would I want to be treated? You know, and giving that how would I want to be treated if I was in his situation? Like, what would I want, kind of thing. It's like if I wanted, you know, if I wanted to go to this rave and I don't know how to fucking explain it, but it's like I made a sacrifice in a way because it's like, or if someone wants me to play their video game or some shit, someone wants me to do this thing they want to do. It's kind of like that where a lot of times I don't want to do shit, but I just kind of am like, um, I try to treat them well, you know, I try to do the right thing. Um, 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 there's something really powerful to it though, because I felt like when I went to that rave, it opened a door to, kind of like synchronicity or something. Coincidence or just kind of like meant to be kind of shit. um, so that's kind of a hopefully this video doesn't fucking cut off at a random point. But the 2 hour mark is about to come up. I'm kind of scared. Um, if this is the if this is where it fucking cuts off, you know, hope you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Wish you all the best wishes. Fucking hope you guys can figure out what the fuck makes you happy and you chase that shit. And that you guys yeah, have a good one. So okay, video down there. Fine. Okay, let's go. So yeah, my buddy really wanted me to go, and you know, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this for him. Oh my god, dude! It was just kind of took that to the extreme, doing this for them. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Is because that's kind of how I found that spark. I did this for them. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna go. You really want me to go? I'll go. Okay. Um, and I went, and then at some point during this rave or whatever, there was this there's this girl, and this girl, she had a boyfriend, but I was just like, this girl reminded me of this other girl that I really like, and I even told them like, you remind me of, like, I told them that they're more than perfect and don't ever forget, or like, don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. And I said some other shit, and then I was like, um, I told them that they remind me of this girl that I love with all my heart, and that yeah, said some other stuff, but there's this thing where it was like I felt like I wanted to show them that they really are more than worth it, I guess. And so I went hard as shit during parts of that rave, and it was this thing where she had this boyfriend, and I just kind of wanted her and him to know that, when he could give up, but there's gonna be someone else that doesn't, and that's just kind of that's kind of the fucked up thing. Is I felt like I was just getting into these weird headspaces where it's like I was imagining if it was me or a girl that I really liked, that was actually almost as if the music was them, or like the performance of the stage and everything, like as if like that um, display, or that kind of what was being given in a way, or the show was either being like as if the source was at me, or someone I really like or something like that, and just trying to appreciate that music, and the DJ set or whatever, just really just trying to like love it like more than anyone else. um and I felt like in doing that I had to outwork everybody. I had to dance more than everyone. I had to dance harder than anyone, even though I wasn't the best dancer. I had to just go hard as fucking shit. I had to be like the last one dancing too. Just kind of, I don't know, just like all this different shit where it's like I have to. I wanted to kind of like fuck with people's minds in a way, and like, how is he able to just like keep going? Like, why is he like what the fuck is like? Why is he like going so hard? Why is he what is like motivating him, kind of thing? Like, why? Like, where the fuck? Like, what is his motivation? Why is he just um like, how is he able to just have that energy? Like, why is he like, how can, like, where the fuck is that coming from? That drive or something, and like willpower, I guess, and just kind of effort, and just like, um I don't know. And I feel like I was starting to really do that to people, as I was just kind of making them feel like exhausted, because they're like, man, I can't keep up with this shit. Like, I can't, I don't know. that's the feeling I kind of wanted to see from other people, is just them being like, you know what, man, you can have it, you can just have it, kind of thing. Like if you really fucking care that much, have it, man. I wanted to like care the most. It was crazy, and I felt like I had moments where I was like losing my mind and doing that kind of shit, and that's kind of why I want to get into music. Is like I want to just have that. It'd be kind of fucked up, but it would be like if I created music, it would be because I want to have the highest energy out of the crowd. Like I would just turn it into some sick, fucked up like um, challenge for myself or something. Like I'd just take it as like a like a competitiveness or some shit, or just like um, I would kind of place myself amongst everyone energy wise, not really skill wise, but just kind of like drive wise, endurance wise. It would just like um, it's almost this thing where it's like by me going hard as shit, I'm just trying to fucking like squeeze to wring other people out of their energy. Like I just kind of want. It's almost like I want to kind of see where everyone ends in the sense of like their energy and how much they're willing to give. And I just want to find. I want to like go beyond that. And I'm not gonna be able to do that in every situation. Like when I was running during a 20 miles in, there's a group of runners, and they all just kind of fucking pass me. Okay, shit like that's gonna happen. I'm gonna get gassed sometimes. There's gonna be that time where the set ends and they're going on to another set. Like at that rave or whatever, there's another set, and I just kind of was like, they were like saying basically what they wanted was to just kind of play like ambient music almost so everyone can kind of chill at a distance. Like it's not so much of a dance party anymore. There's a few that's kind of when people kind of stepped up to like do hoops and shit, and um, there wasn't like a pile. There wasn't like as it wasn't like a small crowd of people dancing. It was just like a kind of spread out people doing like fire I don't know, twirling shit, and I don't know, fucking know. Uh, but I just kind of got to a point where it's like I don't know when I'm done. Like, and I just sat in the car and I was just thinking like, man, when am I done? Like, when can I like stop? Because I felt like I couldn't stop. Or like I didn't really have a choice because people would just pull me back in, dude. People were just pulling me back in. It's like they wanted me to fucking to keep going. It was fucked up, dude. And I was like pretty sure I was getting like stress fractures in my shins from jumping, and I don't know. It's just fucked up, dude. I was getting so exhausted, and people just wanted me to keep going. It seemed like, and it's just like I don't know. I just kind of do that sometimes, and so I've thought about doing that with music because it's like this thing where I feel like I get these vibes from the music I listen to that are kind of negative vibes. Like it's kind of just like a kind of like a thing where it's like I can't do this anymore, or like is this all that there is? Is it just kind of like a woe is me kind of thing that I hear in music, and sometimes I catch that vibe just right to where it's like I'm able to just fucking be like, fuck that shit. I'm going like I'm gonna fucking love the shit out of it right now. Like this, like it's just kind. I don't know. It's just like not getting caught in that kind of woe is me. Oh, this kind of sucks. This is this is horrible. Shit like that. Whatever the fuck that just was, but just like miserable kind of stuff, misery and all that, like being able to tap into that and to kind of just like almost like lead forward with happiness and just kind of like appreciation where other people lack it, or just like caring when other people don't, or like caring when other people are unable to, or are not like willing to, um, and just being like very persistent to the point where like no one, it's I don't know, it's fucked up, but it's just like um, it's almost like a one-upsmanship kind of thing where it's I think that's kind of what it is, and it's just kind of the idea of doing one more than the other, or just like doing more than the other, and just like you take that to such an extreme that I feel like others just are kind of like they just can sometimes be like, okay, fine, like um, almost like a you win kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, um, like, like I want to be the last one to give up. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I don't know. Alright, I think I'm gonna let you guys figure out the fucking rest. I'm gonna just end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. This is an especially fucking long one, so if you made it through, good job. Let me know what you think I should fucking do with my life in the comments, or like if you're in, just say anything in the fucking comments, okay? I don't give like I just like to see the notifications because I'm like a social media addict, okay? So I just can't. I see the notification. I'm like, oh, someone said some shit. Someone said that I look like a girl. I'm gonna go tell them to fuck you, basically. Or, you know, someone says something nice and I'm like, thanks, you know. I don't know. I just like the interaction, no matter if it's negative or positive. It's weird. But, alright, guys. Peace.